folks, you asked for it. You kept going on the stream saying, find this guy, you got to talk to him. And I saw the truck when I was walking through and doing my live broadcast yesterday here in Hagerstown at Speedway. And I saw, hey, this guy's got YouTube paying his truck. He must be a YouTuber. And then I walked past it and people in the chat, talk to him. Everybody knows who that guy is. Okay? Well, I didn't get a chance, but here we are tonight. Sasnak is the side of your truck, and Stan is your name. What's Sasnak stand for?
Yeah, I'm going to walk away.
Oh, no, ruined already.
Heart attack.
No. Look, when you've been deplatformed, you get used to that sort of response. No, seriously. So it's Stan, right?
Yeah, Stan.
And you're an independent owner operator of a truck.
Right. I own the truck. I had my own. I bought my first truck in '98, and I've owned them ever since. I have my own authority and run my own business, my name on the door and all that for several years. But it's so much work. So here now, kind of my retirement age, or my
You're
later,
easing back a little bit.
I'm easing back, and I quit that. I sold that whole business, and I bought a truck. I own it, but I lease through a company. They do all the dispatching.
But you're in your third decade of truck driving.
I'm an independent driver. Yes.
Okay, excellent. So what's the Sasnak? Can you tell me that? Or are you serious?
I was born in Kansas.
Okay.
Think about it.
That's not Arkansas with a Kansas in it. That's Kansas.
Well, Sasnak, think about Kansas.
It's backwards.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go. Kansas backwards.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not that creative. My channel's just Chris Wyatt Africa because I focus on Africa.
Right.
All right, so Kansas. Okay, that's interesting. So you've been in trucking for a long time. How's that life been for you?
It's been a good career.
Yep.
It's been a good career. I don't know if a new guy getting in today, if it'll be a new...
The challenges.
I've been doing 35 years.
Yeah.
I don't know from now to 35 more years what trucking's going to be. Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of this remote driving and electric trucks. It's going to be a huge change, okay? Because back when trucking first started, I mean, it was wagons, and
yeah, sure.
Teamsters.
Wagon masters, Teamsters. Yeah. That's why I got the union.
Right. Okay. And then it changed to gasoline trucks with hard wheels, and then it changed to diesel trucks. Now it's going to eventually change to electric trucks, and eventually driverless trucks. I don't think it's going to be for several more years. Yeah. So if you wanted to get into trucking, you could do it, but I don't think it'll be.
The challenges may
There
be.
will be a day.
Yeah.
There will be a day when everything, cars, taxis, all that stuff will all be automated. Right.
Well, I'm not in the trucking industry, but my stepfather and my mother are in it. My mother's pretty well known in the trucking industry, and I have a little familiarity with it. So some of the things in our lifetime that have come along is we've had this tremendous growth of the big trucking companies like JB Hunt and others, which has had an impact on independent owner operators.
The mega carriers.
The mega carriers, that's a good term for it. We've also seen a lot of federal regulation, and going back before that, we saw the deregulation of fuel prices, which as a consumer I was happy about. But some people in the trucking industry back in the day in the 70s weren't so thrilled about that. Yeah. But we've seen that. Now we've seen the advent in the last number of years of these e-logs, which are really, every trucker that I know has talked about this is a true burden on just being a trucker. It's making it difficult to do your business.
We hate it.
There you go. We hate it. So, I mean, has that had a big impact?
Yes. It's just for convenience, and I don't know. It's just truckers are very independent people. Even the company driver, independent people, and to sit there and have like training wheels on, the government tells you to put, I can't think of another way. I would come up with a better analogy than that, but it's just like you got a nanny sitting right over telling you need to do this, you need to do that, it's just, and truckers don't like that. That's why they chose trucking, is to get into a vehicle where they don't have the boss with them right over their shoulder all the time, So the e-logs, we just absolutely hate it. And in a way, I'm trying to think, why do we need logs anyway? I mean, you drive your car, you don't have to have a log on that.
I did in the Army, but I'm not in the Army anymore.
Right, yeah. But
I can figure out when maintenance is due on my vehicle all by myself.
Right, but I mean, just to go from point A to point B, that you don't have to log it. I mean, I can't think of any. Well, I guess there are other jobs that
airlines, but that's different.
Trains and things like that. So I mean, they just, the thing about all the regulations in trucking is they know that that's a really good. It's a cash cow. They know how to make money for the government.
Isn't that really what it's all about?
I think it's more of that than anything. This truck. Okay, this truck back here. He's driving down the road. He knows when his brakes are worn out. Yep. He knows when he needs to get them replaced. He doesn't need some inspector crawling underneath and saying, "Hey, you need to fix it." Oh, by the way, we're going to fine you. Pick your number: 200, 900, 800, whatever. Yep. So many dollars okay, and shut you down. Well, now, okay, now you got a fine to pay, and now you have,
And you can't book a load,
and you can't
so
put
your
that,
business falls behind.
right, and there's that money you were planning on putting into the brakes tomorrow.
Yes.
Now you know you got to pay them.
It's
So
like the
just-
old English habit of putting debtors in prison.
Yeah.
If you're in prison as a debtor, how can you raise the money to pay your debt?
Exactly.
This is counterintuitive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Very, very good analogy there.
yeah, no, thanks, Stan. Appreciate it. I think we get along pretty well here. It sounds like. But Stan, you've obviously traveled all over the country, up and down, carrying loads. Have you ever been to Canada or Mexico?
I've been in a truck all 48 states and Canada. I've been to Alaska, but in a personal vehicle.
Okay.
In a camper.
Yeah, but not in truck.
But not in a truck. Yeah, it's just not.
It's not a lot of loads going there or coming back from there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of traffic between there, and if it is, it's Canadian.
Canadians got it. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been 48 states. I'm trying to figure out how I can drive to Hawaii. I need to figure that one out.
Yeah, I hear you need fins for that one.
Yeah,
So
I'm
just
waiting for
saying.
the tunnel. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a long tunnel. The one across from France to England, the tunnel is not that long.
Yeah.
And trust me, having been in it, in a train, with my car inside the train, you're inside your car, you're not running about, it's not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's just 23 miles.
That's
I don't think I want a tunnel all the way to Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's more seriously stuff here. So we're at Hagerstown Speedway, which is West Hagerstown, about 7 miles in Washington County, Western Maryland, which once again, I know I've told my audiences, my ancestors settled this country in this county, founded Leitersburg, and just to the west here, Clear Spring, just right down the road, over 2 centuries ago. So I'm riding home in this part of the country. Nice rolling hills, the Appalachians. But we're here for the People's Convoy. This is the one that started in Fresno, came all the way across the country. Stan, when did you...
Adelanto.
Okay.
Adelanto.
Okay.
It's down just north of LA a little bit.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, but
Okay,
anyway,
so
yeah.
have you been with the convoy since California, or did you join
I
like...
picked them up in Arizona. Their first
In Arizona,
stop.
okay.
They left Atlanta and went over by Kingman. Actually, the town was
I know
Golden
Kingman.
Valley. Golden Valley.
Okay, but I know Kingman.
And they pulled into a pizza place there. A pizza parlor.
I'll bet that's good for business.
Yeah, that guy. He's like, that's where they loaded up with all their supplies. And I just happened to. I wasn't planning on this traffic. I wasn't planning on coming to this.
Oh, so you weren't even going to do this? Okay.
I just thought it was another trucking convoy to,
Of which there's like 8 or 9 going on right now.
Well, no, over the years,
Oh.
truckers that get together, they get mad about the speed limit. They get mad about fuel
E-logs.
E-logs, yeah. They get mad about something.
Sure.
And they get a bunch of them together, and we're going to convoy across the country. We're going to go to Washington. We're going to cover it, okay? And they leave and they get about halfway across and it peters out. And the folks, hey, nobody's joining, and the cops are giving us a hard time, whatever. And they just kind of wither away, okay? And nothing comes of it. Every now and again, they'll get some up there. They go up there, honk their horns in DC, and nothing ever happens because it's just the truckers.
Yeah.
About a trucker issue
But
nobody else cares.
It hasn't been just the truckers.
So I'm on vacation out there. I'm not in my truck. I'm in my van.
Oh, okay.
A camper. I'm in my van and I'm driving around, and I just happened to be down in Laughlin, and I was going to go up to Vegas. Actually, today is the race. The NASCAR race is in Vegas today.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that's going to date your video here, but anyway.
That's no problem.
Today is the
with YouTube and social media, it's what have you done for me in the last 10 minutes? So after that, it's dated anyway.
yeah. But anyway, the race was supposed to be going to be today. I was going to go to that with some friends of mine because I was just out there on winter vacation. I don't drive in the winter anymore.
Sure.
I'm tired of the ice and snow.
Yeah,
and
gotcha.
And I can drive in the ice and snow, no problem. It's some of these newer, younger drivers. That's why we're having these 100-truck pilots. And one of the reasons we're having that is that e-log. Drivers are like, oh, my e-log.
They're worried about their e-log and not paying
used to
attention
be,
to the road.
yeah, we drive and we just fill it out, okay, whatever. But it was flexible.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's very hard. The computer says you must stop driving this very second or you're going to get in trouble. Okay, so these guys, they're like, man, I need to get some point A to point B, and the weather gets bad, and next thing you know, they're getting in an accident. And then you got another truck and another truck and another, and anyway,
Your bottom line is you've done your days on the ice and snow and the black ice.
Because I can go into a whole rabbit hole there.
Yeah, no, I got you. But you've done it. You had enough fun.
So I take the winter off. I take the winter off.
Okay.
I left on January 1st from home in Dallas, and I went out to Arizona to hang out with some friends of mine in the desert and just camp and do whatever out there in the nice weather. Mm-hmm. So I'm out there. I'm not planning. I'd heard about this convoy thing. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Just another convoy.
Yeah. So I was going to go up to Vegas. Well, I'm in Laughlin, Nevada. If you look on the map, you can't go straight north. It's mountainous and the river. You have to go east or west. Okay. So I went. You go west, you go over onto 95 with the Searchlight into Vegas, or you can go over east over by Laughlin, S93.
Sure.
And I chose to go that way because I could go across the Hoover Dam. So we're not allowed to go.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been across
With
the
trucks, you
semi.
can't do that though.
Used to.
Yeah,
after
but not
9/11.
anymore.
Yeah, after 9/11, there were trucks. That's why they built that big bridge. But I'm in a van now. So I can go down.
You go to the Hoover Dam.
And my YouTube, I was looking for the content. I thought I'd go to the dam and go down inside. It's a whole tour inside.
It's really cool, yeah.
So I was going to go do that. Had no intention of this. I'm driving along. Why did I choose to go that way versus this way?
Fate.
Exactly. Thank you. So I'm driving along, and there's this bunch of protesters, you know, flags,
Yeah.
F Biden, and all this stuff. You know,
On the dam.
on the side of on the side of the road there.
Oh, just on the side of the road. Okay, gotcha.
On Highway 68. I think
Okay,
it was.
but not at the dam yet.
And I never even got there. So I'm driving along, and I see this. What's going on here? Okay, I kept going. About a quarter mile, there's some more people out there with flags. I'm like, I'm on the phone with a friend of mine. He said, I'm turning around, there might be a story there. Okay, so I turned around and I asked him, so what's going on? He says, the trucker convoy's coming through here. Oh, great. There's a good video for me. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
So I thought I'd go back and watch the trucker convoy go by.
Sure.
So I get in there and I start talking to these people, and they're saying, well, the convoy's 2 hours out. Well, delay. Finally, like 6 hours later, they finally get there. So anyway, I'm out there with a camera, videoing all this, and it dawned on me, by the time I edit it and put it in line with the other videos, it's going to be 2 weeks from now. It's all going to be over with.
It's a lot of work.
Nobody will care. Well,
Yeah.
no, it'd be so late. It's like
Right, but it's also a lot of work to do that.
Right. So it dawned on me, I get a live stream. So I get out there and I get the live stream. And I'm walking around talking to people, you know, what do you think? We need to do this, we need to do that. And I'm thinking, okay, people are all fired up about stuff. Okay, it's interesting. All right. And here come the trucks. All right, everybody, it's dark, it's not like this, it's dark, and all the trucks start coming in. I've been hearing stories of 300 trucks.
It wasn't 300 trucks.
30 trucks pulled in.
Oh,
That was it.
wow.
And I'm like, that's it? So I'm like, I'm on the video, you know, I'm like, well, that was it. It's not as big as I thought. And while I'm standing there, RV after car, after car, after RV, after car, after SUV, after pickup.
Not truck drivers.
And they just, and it don't, I was sitting there talking to somebody about whatever, and they said, this isn't a trucker convoy. Trucks are just, they're just leading it, but yeah, it's the People's Convoy. That's the name, the People's Convoy. And I got thinking, it's not just truckers. They've got support behind them, right? I'll tag along for a day. And they had a blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay, they had a blizzard up on top of Flagstaff the day before. Actually, that day while we were down there, snow was going across. A foot and a half of snow, big old blizzard up there, big old chunk of snow. And I'm thinking, we're going to get about halfway up the mountain. All these bobtails, they don't get good traction when they're bobtails. Bobtails, no trailer, okay?
Yeah, for those who not familiar with that term.
Yeah. So I just figured they're going to get up there and spin out. It's going to be a fiasco. There's another story for you, right? Well, that's what happened. Get up there, roads were bone dry, beautiful blue sky. You know, there was snow everywhere, but they'd cleaned the road.
Yeah, but they cleaned it already.
And it was perfect, you know. So go for another day. I just kept going, well, I just do another day, another day.
Another day turned into Sunday here in Hagerstown.
By the time we got to Amarillo, I knew this was growing.
Something's
We pulled
going
into
on.
Amarillo. This was huge. And I decided, I live in Dallas. If you look at the map, they were in Amarillo, and they were going to go up to Oklahoma.
Sure.
And I knew I could run down, switch out from my van into my semi, and meet and rejoin them in Oklahoma. So that's what I did. And I come up, and when I was in my van, everybody was real.
But when you're in your truck, they all love you.
Well, I'm walking up with the camera. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they're
Are you revenuers?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. They're looking at me like, we don't know about this
Hide
guy.
to shine.
Yeah, we don't know about this guy. He might be a plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A false flag thing.
So anyway, I'm showing them, here's a picture of my truck. Blah blah blah. Anybody can show a picture of the truck.
Yeah, of course.
You know. So anyway, I'm going, and they're all just kind of like, yeah, okay, nice to meet you. And I'm asking questions, you know, I don't know anything, you know. And you could tell they were, you know, wary of me.
Sure.
I show up with my truck,
It's a whole different story.
and Mike, the lead truck.
Yep.
I happen to pull in. They got there in Big Kevin, Oklahoma.
Sure.
Big truck stop. They got there, and they had been there for about an hour when I showed up. I pulled in and parked, and the local cops had come down and were saying, hey, we thought you were coming through town tonight. The whole town of Bonita, you look on your map, Bonita, Oklahoma, they're all lined up waiting for you guys to come through.
So the
Please come
cops
through.
are out there, make sure things are safe. Like, where you at? Why aren't you coming through?
Well, they were, you know, our people, the townspeople are out there waiting for
That's
you,
what I mean,
and you
yeah.
pulled short. You know? Oh, and Mike, I just happened to pop the brakes. I get out of the truck, and as I'm walking over to say hi, he walks in, what are you doing? I'm like, come on, let's go.
Get your truck.
Yeah. And he gathered about 30 trucks up, and that's, you know, we had about 50 trucks at that time.
Yep.
Full-time trucks.
Sure.
And so he gathered about 30 of the trucks up, and we all went and did a parade in through town, and everybody was, you know, tickled happy and everything.
I bet the people in the townsfolk loved it.
We just looped back around, come back to the truck stop. Next morning they get up, they do the same thing right through the middle of town. So anyway, I rejoined them in Oklahoma, and I've been with them ever since. And once I pulled up in the truck, they're like, you know, I got my Sasnak logo on the side of the truck and everything, and you know, CB handle Sasnak, you know, and all that. And they was just, you know, like, we're brothers, yeah, you know.
Everybody loves you now.
So yeah, I was on the outside looking in, now I'm on the inside looking out, and I'm reporting from the inside. And I don't know if you know what I'm doing here, but driving across country, I would put my phone on the live stream, you know, what you're doing right here, I just put it on the dash.
Yep.
So you see it from the driver's point of view. When I was trying to show the local channels like Amarillo, well, Amarillo was really good, but Albuquerque, we came through, there were some people on the bridges, the local affiliate of Pick Your Channel would come out and they'd take a picture of a bridge with 30 people on it. The evening news would go something like this. There's a little bit of traffic congestion today. A bunch of truck drivers came through today with going to DC and caused a little bit of traffic backup. And well, you know, I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, John, you know, have your weather now? And we're talking a 20-second, 30-second blurb about some trucks coming in.
Well, I was.
And at that point, we were 30 miles long.
Yeah, exactly.
And
well, today's 64 all the way around the Beltway. Yeah. The nose of the convoy caught the tail of the convoy going around the Beltway, 2 loops today. Yeah. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable, the Beltway. Now look, the DC Beltway, if you've been on 495, it's a nightmare at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's always a headache, trust me. But so they weren't really having much of an impact as far as that. But as far as being seen in presence, all the way around 64 miles, absolutely incredible. No, it's the coverage. I was in Orlando last week for the CPAC convention. Down there as an accredited journalist covering that, and there was no discussion of this. You know, I saw something that said 10 or 12 trucks. Hey, 10 or 12 trucks. There's 10 or 12 trucks I can take a leak on from here.
Have you got footage? Have you got footage
of today? No, I do not.
B footage for all this.
No, I don't.
You go on, just show footage.
Oh, no. Here I've walked around, but I don't have anything of the actual.
Ask one of the guys you see these flying these drones.
Yeah.
Ask them if you can get some
yeah, no, that'd be some good stuff there.
Yeah. You can show footage right here.
No, it's a good point. You can overlay it and show it. That's this guy knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Knows the editing skills there. You put it on. I do that for my prepared videos a lot, but this will be a prepared video. Right. But anyway, so Stan, you followed with them from Oklahoma. You had no intention of being part of it. You thought it was just another rally, just a bunch of truckers. Turns out it was just truckers and a lot of regular Americans.
It's regular Americans. Okay, forget about the trucks. It's regular Americans. The trucks.
They're props, I guess.
They're eye candy.
Yeah, they're eye candy.
It's weird for me to say truck drivers are eye candy. I mean, you think eye candy is a good-looking woman, you know. So, but yeah, the trucks are eye candy for you know the photo op. You know,
there you go.
We're driving down the road. There's all these trucks. A good journalist, hello people. A good journalist would send their camera crew out there and they would take photo of the trucks coming by. Yep. And that's why we have all the trucks up front and all the cars and campers and everything follow along. But that's why we have the trucks up front. So that's why everybody thinks it's a trucker convoy. It's not. It's a people convoy.
Well, but it is. In fact, you know, in Ohio, my sister, 10 years ago, with my youngest sister, who's about 13 years younger, would never have imagined her doing something like this. But my youngest sister joined the convoy in Columbus, Ohio, and rode to Cambridge, Ohio. Yeah. And so it was fantastic.
And that's what we get. When we started out, they pulled in, they had 30 trucks.
Yeah.
Okay, that was over in, that was almost 2 weeks ago now. This Wednesday will be 2 weeks.
Wow.
They pulled in and had 30 trucks. The next morning they pulled out, they had 37 trucks. But once you get on the highway, get all lined out, drivers are coming along, we're driving 45 mile an hour.
Sure.
And doing that slow roll. Okay. The trucks that are going 65 mile an hour, they would slow down, get in with us, make the convoy bigger. So it looks a lot bigger during the day. Other car trucks would just drive on by, but a lot of them would get in and join the convoy. Once we get to where we're going, we pull off for a photo op or something. You know, we pull into a town like Amarillo. We left New Mexico. We drove 80 miles to Amarillo. We pulled in a huge block. We all pulled in there. The local news crews were there. Okay, and it was a big event. all those drivers that were with us, they kept going. They have freight to haul. Okay, so the thing that seems to never work with a truckers convoy is, by God, we're going on strike. And all it does is make him mad because he can't get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I can't get Blu-ray players.
Can't get gas.
Can't get gas. Can't get raspberries.
That's not the way to do this. Strikes work when you're shutting down a steel mill or something.
Sure.
But that doesn't affect anybody. Just the steel mill.
And also a strike, if all truckers want to strike, it'd be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
There's 3.5 million CDL, commercial driver's license truck drivers in this country, and they're what make things happen. Every single thing you buy, wherever you buy it, was delivered at least at some point by a semi and a truck driver. Without fail, there's nothing, unless you went and picked those fruits and vegetables in your local farm, it was delivered by a truck driver. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. So if the truck drivers want to strike, we'd all go starving in a short order, unless you're a prepper and you got C rations or MREs in your basement.
And that'll only last so long.
And that runs out too, so we need truckers. Stan, it's really, I think, fascinating. But let me get your thoughts about this. Let me give you mine real quick, since we're both talking here, and then I'm gonna get your feedback. I came yesterday. I kind of knew that it wasn't just truckers, and I was, in fact, that was confirmed yesterday. So many people along the road waving flags, honking, jumping in cars coming down here, Winnebagos, campers, everything under the sun.
Priuses.
Priuses too.
I met a lady. She's living in her Prius.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I interviewed 3 people right off the bat when I arrived here. The first guy, I said, "Can I talk to somebody? You guys want to be interviewed?" And the guy said, "Sure, I'll come on." And he lives in Manhattan. He's an artist, not exactly conservative, but he is a conservative, turns out. But you wouldn't think that. And he's black, and he's up in arms about the suppression of liberty, the loss of liberty. So he's from Manhattan. I walked through. I found some other guys around the truck. I said, "Anybody want to be interviewed? Can you come on?" This guy said, "Sure, I'll come on." He's a father of 6. He's from St. Louis. He's an independent owner-operator. And he was talking, he said, "I'm mixed." And I'm like, "Sorry, mixed?" "Oh yeah, I'm Nicaraguan and Anglo." So then we got a Latino from New York to St. Louis. The next guy I interviewed, he's a white guy from Tacoma, Washington. We went all the way across the country just to give you an idea how diverse it is out here. Now, I don't know if there are, in the truck industry, there's probably about 70 or 80,000 Sikhs from India who've come to America in the truck industry. Very diverse. A lot of people have a certain image.
You've done your homework.
Well, yeah, I know a little bit about it, but people might think that everybody in the truck industry looks like Stan and I. Do you know how many women are driving these rigs that came in here tonight? Right here, late here.
She's not on, but you can see her. I can see her right over there.
It's just women all over the place, folks, and it's a very diverse community, and it undermines the preconceived notions about what's going on here. This is about freedom and about suppression of liberty, and that's why you're doing this, Dan. So, are my impressions accurate from this convo?
Pretty good. Two of the biggest questions that I get is, how many trucks are in the convoy? And how long is the convoy? Okay, my answers to that: how many trucks are in the convoy? 1 less than we need.
Good answer.
Okay, and how long is it? 3,000 miles.
Oh!
Because
mic drop.
Because that very first bridge they went under, after they pulled out, they went under a bridge, and there was people out there waving. That guy's in the convoy.
That's when it started. That's where it was.
He has to go work. He has to take care of his kids or whatever, you know. He has an important job to do. He doesn't have the ability to run all the way across country, okay? But he's in this. That next bridge, all those people who are on that bridge, they're in this, okay? They're all here. We aren't. We're the physical part of it. They're the emotional, physical, mental part of it.
Sure.
Okay? You know, their hearts are there, okay?
Exactly.
Their hearts are here. Their bodies are still at home taken care of. So somebody pointed that out, the 1 less truck than we need, we always use more, okay? 1 less car than we need, one less SUV or motorhome or whatever. But, you know, we're not, this is not a democracy. This is a representative republic.
Oh, America, yeah. I tell my audience that all the time. People get very confused. We're not a democracy. We have representatives who represent us. The problem is they forget they work for us.
Right.
And they think that they're a permanent political class about their self-aggrandizement, their ego, their fame, their appearances on MSNBC and Fox News. And I would say, this is what I tell folks all the time, because I worked with congressmen. You know, I did national security in the Army, and I formed foreign policy, and I did lots of congressional delegations. And my experience is that 435 members of the House, 100 members of the Senate, I'd say about 60 or 80 of them can walk and chew gum simultaneously. The rest are used car salesmen. No offense against used car salesmen. They're honorable people most of the time. And shyster ambulance chasing lawyers.
Yeah.
That's anyway. So, but they work for us. They forget that.
Yeah. What I was going to say about the representative republic.
Sure.
All those people on the bridge.
Yep.
They couldn't come. I'm representing them.
Oh, I see where you're going.
where I was going
See,
with
I stole Stan's thunder. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay,
Anyway,
so
yeah.
no, that's a great line. So,
But,
so you're representing all the people along the route.
On the right. I'm representing all the people that were too far away from the bridge.
You couldn't even get there.
Well, yeah, they're 300 miles away.
But
They're
my
like,
sister,
man, I wish
but
I'd
my
come to
sister
my
couldn't
town.
join, but
Right.
she did join.
Right.
But all the people that couldn't join.
Right.
No, that's a great assessment.
My mom is sitting at home. She would love to be here. My dad would love to be here. My sisters would love. Well, one of my sisters would love to be here.
Well, see,
Okay.
yeah, see, you gotta be careful here because when you're a kid, you roughhouse, and you push that sibling down. One time too many, you might have done some damage to.
But no, all these people that are still at home, you know, that my sisters live. I got both my sisters live in the Kansas City area.
Okay.
Okay. I got my mom and dad living in New Mexico. They're too far away from the route. They would have come out to the bridges, but they're too far away. The people that were close enough, they did come out to the bridges. But it just when you're coming along, you see all these people that are out there, and it's. Did you go off the Gulf Wars or anything?
Yeah, I started off.
When you left, I remember I was in Alabama when they were taking off to go to Kuwait. Okay? And I was driving in my truck, going down the road, and I come into these little towns in Alabama, and everybody's out there waving flags, and I'm like, what's going on? I get on the rail. What's all this about? Oh, the troops are leaving. There's a whole division of them, or a battalion or whatever. They're all leaving. Well, they were right behind me, okay? And I didn't know. I was like a mile or half mile ahead of the lead convoy truck.
Oh, wow.
Military. So I'm driving down through there, and there's all this, this emotion of people, convoy.
Yellow ribbons back then.
Right. Yeah, all of that stuff. And this is the same way.
Okay. Same sort of heartfelt emotion.
Yes. Yeah.
Now,
People sending you off. And I don't want to say it. Because I was in the military like you, I keep analogizing military terms.
Sure.
We're going into battle. I made a big thing about it when we were driving across the road highway, and there's 50 trucks and there's 1,000 cars. The trucks are the ones. Remember in the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, the flag.
Sure.
He was leading the way, and all the troops are coming behind him. Okay, we were holding the flag, carrying it into battle, and they're following along. I hate to use the words battle and war.
No, but it's a good
that.
analogy. It makes sense.
It's the best analogy I can come up with. But then people will take that wrong and say, "Oh, they're going up there to battle."
No, don't worry about that. I know what you're saying.
Mainstream.
Yeah.
So they'll twist my words.
They
so
will.
I kind of try to stay away from that. But yeah, but I just kind of the way I think is military, and you think in those kind of terms when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, the Gulf War you talk about that, for me it was a little different experience. I was stationed in Germany, and I was on the advance party, so the 82nd got there in August. I got there in December, so I wasn't the first, but I was the first from Germany to get there. Yeah. And then my unit was one of the last to return from Germany months later after the war was over. So I got to see the news and all the people coming back. Welcome back to America, parades in New York, free Disney World, hey, come enjoy it. I spent another 3 years in Germany after that. I came back to the States and it's like, oh, you're in the Gulf War? Yeah, we heard about that. It was a few years ago. No, I don't say that as I'm angry or I missed out. It's just kind of funny because for us, we went to war. We came back. Everybody in the unit had gone to war. We deactivated our unit. Some of us transferred to other places. The rest went back to the States. We just went about our business. So when I came back to the States, it was no different. But for a lot of the troops came back, the country was wonderful for them, received them very well. It was a great time.
I was so happy to see that compared to
Vietnam.
Exactly.
Very different result.
Very, So you came back, there was no praise. You came back and, oh, thanks, pretty.
No, people did that.
But they were, in Vietnam, they were still spitting on people.
That's true. And one of the things for me is, after 9/11, I was in Tunisia when 9/11 happened. I was actually in the embassy when planes flew, and I was watching it live, like millions of people were, and into the second tower there. And I came back a few months after that, after Christmas, Thanksgiving, or before Christmas, after Thanksgiving in 2001. And I was walking around not too far from here in Frederick, Maryland, with an Army jacket on, because it was a raid jacket. People were trying to buy my meal. I was a major at the time, like, look, I'm not going to afford my meal. No, we want to thank you. And everybody was very thankful. And I had been in the Army since 1983, and this was 2000, so what, that's 17, 18 years already. And I never really had that experience because I didn't come back after the Gulf War. And it was kind of weird for me. It was kind of, I had to adjust to it. And it's, for those of us who serve, Stan, you serve, we really do appreciate the support that the general society gives us. But, we're just regular people too. And you know, we're out here just trying to make a difference, whether we're still in uniform or retired or we served previously. And we appreciate support. But Stan, I want to thank you for spending the time with me tonight. I really enjoyed it. I hope that we get a chance to collaborate and chat in the future.
Okay. All right, very good.
There you go, Stan, folks. That's it, Sasnak. Now you know, it's Kansas backwards.
Go to YouTube, okay? And don't take away from his time, of course.
No, take away from my time. It's all about information.
You're not going to see hardly anything on the news about this. So get up in the morning, and when we leave out of here, wherever, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, they haven't ready. They keep it close to the vest.
They do,
you know?
for obvious reasons, because troublemakers.
Right. But we get up in the morning, I'll do a live stream usually of the driver's meeting, where they say what we're doing today, where we're going out, whatever. And I take my camera and I put it up on the dash of the truck, of this truck, a big old white Peterbilt. And I drive down the road and let you see firsthand what's going on, okay? And basically, my camera, I'm holding my camera walking around. It's like I've got this guy by the arm. Let me show you this. And I'm showing people what's going on live in the moment, okay? And I try to find things that are, you know, newsworthy, or I guess, or whatever.
Yep.
Some of it you're sitting there waiting.
Folks.
Some of it you're just waiting for the truck to come around the corner or something like that. But when you're driving down the road and your news crew, local news crew says, "Oh, there was just a small group," watch along and you'll see the bridges just full of people. Now around here, down in DC, not so much. From here to DC,
oh, lots.
Whatever county that was.
Well, you're driving through Washington and Frederick County, and that's conservative. True.
But as soon as you get to the Beltway, there's still people on the bridges,
but it's not quite the same level.
A dozen versus 200 or 300. Yeah. So anyway, that you can go back and watch the videos as I came across country. If you don't believe me, like in Amarillo, well, in Amarillo wasn't live streaming down the highway. That's still nothing. But from Oklahoma on, whatever day that was, I lost track of my day.
It's been a couple
weeks. Go back to Indianapolis. When we pulled into Indianapolis, the people were just, you know, it was a festival. Okay? It was just huge. It was like the Rolling Stones were coming to town. You know, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Elvis,
are in town.
all of them were
they're in Winnebagos and Tremais.
Yeah. So and it's all for truck drivers, you know, and it's weird. You know, it's really weird that all these years, 35 years, I've been driving a truck, and places they just kind of shun you, like, you know, we don't want that truck parked here. Leave, you know, go somewhere else. You know, and it's almost like people would, the way they would shun homeless people or something.
Sure.
And you just start, over years, you start feeling like a second-class citizen. You know, you're not wanted, you're not desired, you're not appreciated.
But that hasn't been your experience on this trip.
After 35 years, this trip has made it all worthwhile.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's like the outpouring of, you know, good
love and affection,
yes.
and great feelings.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube, Sasnak, which is Kansas spelled backwards, so it's Sasnak, right?
Right.
All right, check him out, become a subscriber. By the way, congratulations. Let me be the first congratulations. You went over 100,000 subscribers today.
Yeah.
So
last I checked, it was 104 this evening.
there you go. So PooTube, a target that I was approaching once upon a time, PooTube will send him a plaque if they get around to it at some point.
3 or 4 months from now.
Probably. And hopefully you'll stick over the 100,000. But congratulations. Folks, that's it from Speedway in Washington County, just west of Hagerstown here in Western Maryland. God's country. God bless. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time. I'm Chris Wyatt. Hopefully we'll see you over in Sasnak. Cheers.